Yeah, let me share my screen. Let me tell you what we have done it on Saturday. Saturday, we started creating a BDD framework, behavior driven development. So I already explained you what is BDD. Okay, it's actually a development process where we will gather the requirement in a format given when then. We call it as feature file. Okay, feature file, Gherkin's code. Now the requirement will be captured in the form of given when then, and then that requirement will be used by the development team for developing the application, and the same requirement will be used by the testing team for working on acceptance testing. And on Saturday, we started working on accept testing. This is the actual model of BDD. The modified version of BDD is nothing but ATDD, acceptance test driven development, okay, where we will try to inject the testing scenarios. We will be writing an acceptance testing and will inject during the testing time. So the acceptance testing will be done by the QA team for sure. QA team will be involved. Additionally, the client will also be involved while working with acceptance testing or providing a sign off to acceptance testing, and all would be done by the end user, the client itself, okay, the product owners. That is also going to happen in real time industry. So based on this acceptance testing right now, BDD, ATDD. So the objective will the objective will be different. Apart from that, every other things looks same. Whereas BDD concentrates on gathering or understanding the requirement. ATDD is completely for testing. Going with complete BDD model is going to be a time consumption. So we started using a modified form of BDD for testing purpose, where we will be writing an acceptance testing, and that scenario will be giving it to the client for verification. Once that is done, the same scenario will be tested. So every scenario will have given when then. That's what we have seen. And where to apply VDD, as I told you in the last Saturday. Some few part of discussion we did it. Then we started writing the Gherkin's file, given when then. So 3 model, one is code style, concentrating towards technical team, imperative between technical and non-technical, declarative. Declarative will be much easier for understanding the application, but it concentrates purely to the environment. Basically, requirement gathering will happen in the declarative state. Like I have browser with OpenEMR, when I provide valid credential, then I access the portal. This is something like a requirement gathering where you will have the flow. That's it, and you will not know what or like what data we are passing those things. So when it comes to acceptance testing, we write between imperative and declarative style. Most of the things we will be writing with the imperative style, where we will be trying to know what data we are entering for testing and what is the expected outcome on testing itself. Okay, so given is basically a prerequisite. When the operation, what you do on the application, verification, then as part of verification. So every scenario will have given when then. And when it comes to this particular process, the acceptance testing, we will be writing in the feature file, given when then. So every feature file will have feature header, and then header description we need to give. Then each for feature description, either formatless or in format description. Then we started creating scenarios, scenario header. Then we connected in that scenario, that feature what we are writing, the scenario should be connected with Java code step definition. Okay, each and every step given when then will have a definition. A method will be there. That method can be written in any language. For working with Java Cucumber, we use, for working with Java and BDD, we use a tool called Cucumber. We use the tool called Cucumber for working with BDD framework in Java. we use Cucumber. Okay, Cucumber is one of the tools which helps us to achieve the BDD concept in Java. And there is, as I told you, spec is there for working with BDD framework for .NET applications. Okay, so different providers are going to be there. Cucumber is the only one which is available for Java, widely used. If in case if I'm going with a feature file, this feature file I wanted to connect with Python code, then what I need to do is this scenario I want to connect with Python code, then I have to use JBK, okay, which is basically done through the Python. You can see here BDD. For Java, we use Cucumber. We already configure it. So we write the feature file, then we run the feature file. This is the architecture of Cucumber. Cucumber, basically the BDD framework. BDD framework in Java. Now, we write the feature file that is going to be common for any language. The feature file will be connecting to step definition, which we are going to return in Java. And to connect the feature file and step definition, we create one runner file. That will we will try to trigger that runner file, which brings the feature file and step definition and start doing it operation. So first thing, we created one scenario and connected that scenario with the step definition. Let me open the application, and most of the part in BDD Cucumber is done basically for important concepts, as I told you: parameterization, how to parameter the data, send the data from the feature file. Let me open this project. NSC, Java, Selenium, workspace. Saturday session, if you those who missed it, if you watch, it will be easy for you to understand BDD framework. Okay, this is the project, Maven project I created. After creating the Maven project, I added Selenium dependencies, Cucumber dependencies, and WebDriver Manager for configuring the driver. These three dependencies I added it. So Cucumber, two dependencies. One is Cucumber Java, Cucumber JUnit. No, Selenium, Java, these four library, we added dependencies. Once that is done, I go to the resource, source test resource, and started creating a feature file. Login.feature. Extension should be .feature, the file name. And then I provided feature header and description. This is just for logging purpose. And below that, we started writing the scenario. Every scenario should have minimum one given, one when, one then. And you can see I have browser with OpenEMR, and then I enter username. Each and every step, this is your step. Each and every step will have a step definition. For that, we created a Java class, a simple class with these definition. This should match a given. This should exactly match with this step. If it is not matching, even a space will also cause an issue. And we tried creating this file, auto-generated file, when we started doing the automation inside this. Okay. Now, till this variable to complete, like we were working on Saturday, right? We connected the feature, then we connected with the step definition. I am asking you to pick from com.nsc.step definition. If I don't give this and run it, if I don't give this and run, now it will take this feature file and try to trigger. While triggering it, it will check for step definition. If it is not there, it will throw this error. You can see here, failure track trace. Throws this error, given when, then it's not able to find it. Okay, it's asking to create it. I click on this and I copy this and paste it here and added an automation script in between. Copy this and paste it in one class, added it, and this package detail I need to give. I have to tell exactly where is my feature file, where is my glue. If you don't give feature file, it will tell no feature available. Publish equal to true for published report in the internet. So after we click on after we execute, this report got published right now, the internet, when you give publish it to true. To generate the report locally, you can also use, this is the report right now got executed, a no step definition form. Okay, and I gave the glue, and then I can give plugin pretty, which will give you the complete detail in the console, pretty format. HTML report I want, HTML colon, where I want to save under target folder. This is my report, HTML report. And you can see, this is the scenario I have. And there is no step definition, so it's undefined. One scenario, two scenario, all these steps are undefined. It's not able to pick up the scenario step definition. Now I give the glue feature file. So when I try to trigger this runner class, it will try to take this feature file and connect to the step definition every time. Given it will run, then it will go for when, then. So given, each and every scenario will be running. So first it will run. You can see the scenario which is getting triggered invalid credential. It will go to this feature file and trigger this. And when I enter username, I'm entering the username password. I'm clicking on login. This is for invalid credential. I should get the error message. And then it will, next I am launching one more browser, given for this scenario outline, given I enter username as that particular username. Okay, fine. So I included the tag called @invalid. So only that tag got triggered. And you can see test case report will be there right now. In this, it is published. One report is published. Other one is locally generated. One report. You can see one scenario. Other scenario, I'm not running it. So it's not going to give any output. Just pick up and show in the document. This is clear for you till this it's done. 4 important detail we have seen in when it comes to Cucumber. One is step parameterization to reduce duplicate in step definition. So instead of recreating lots of step definition for each and every record, we can parameterize it. And the second one is scenario outline. That is to reduce duplicate in the feature file. One scenario I want to run with multiple records. So this particular scenario, valid credential scenario, I want to run with 2 different records, 3 different records, multiple test record. You can see how easily we were able to do the data-driven testing. Whereas in other, in the previous framework and all, we used a data provider, object array, and then we connected with Excel. So a lot of effort is required to do the data-driven. Whereas here, by creating the scenario outline, you can easily achieve the data-driven activity. Scenario outline you can create. Scenario outline should be followed with example. Whatever the record you wanted, those record you can give it as a header, username, passport, language. In that record we are giving it over here. It's clear for you till this in docs?
Yes.
Okay. Now in that background is something, if you have repeated given, you can include background, and otherwise it's not required. These are the things we discussed on Saturday. And data table is something which is pending. We'll do data table. Before that, we'll work on the hooks concept. Right now, you can see browser is getting launched. It's not closing the browser. And every places we will not go on add driver.quit. Then part, every then part, we will not go on add the driver.quit. For that, we'll be using hooks at the rate before, at the rate after, which runs before the scenario and after the scenario. In after the scenario, I'll be closing the browser. We'll update the script right now. So till this you have done, right? No doubts with this, right? Like if it's working in your environment. Okay, now go to WebDriver wrapper. We'll try to set up this one. See, the concept is done. Cucumber concept is done. Since we are working in framework, we are trying to set up this framework. Right now, I ask you to create a WebDriver wrapper class, com.nsc.base. We created a 2 package basically. One is runner package, step definition. We are going to create the configuration level. This is the concept is not part of Cucumber. For framework design, we need to do this. Inside this class, we will be doing few more things. For example, we are declaring the WebDriver here. Instead of declaring it here, we will declare it over here. Just create a class WebDriver wrapper under com.nsc.base. Okay. We'll try to set up the hooks. Created.
Yes, created.
Here we create one static variable, public static WebDriver driver. So one static variable in this parent class. Okay. Now, throughout our program, we use the static variable. Let me tell you how to use it. Or we don't redeclare WebDriver driver everywhere. Okay. Now, I just create one static variable. How will you call the static variables? Yeah, how do we call the static variable? Using class name.
Last name.
Yeah, correct. So let me try to do that. Now, instead of declaring it in the login step, I'll remove this WebDriver driver. I'll remove it. It will all will throw it. All driver will throw it. For the time being, wherever you declare driver, just go with WebDriver wrapper dot driver. Using that particular static variable, we'll try to launch the browser. WebDriver wrapper dot driver. WebDriver wrapper comes from com.nsc.base. That's the package I'm importing. Wherever I've given driver, just use WebDriver wrapper dot driver. Okay, instead of declaring the driver here, we will try to pick it from that particular class. It's designed in this way. Using static method earlier, people used to do the framework static variable. All the wherever I use driver, right? So I use that particular driver. WebDriver dot driver find element. WebDriver wrapper dot driver. Driver is basically WebDriver dot find element. And if you see here, initially it will be null. We will try to allocate a object for that static variable. So one copy only will be maintained throughout the application. I have just do this. Wherever you declare driver, just do WebDriver wrapper dot driver and save all the program. Done. Let me trigger the runner class in debug mode. You can see here. Okay. Now, if you see here, I trigger the runner class with a debug mode. So I included its login.feature tag. I include @invalid. So it will trigger.
Balaji,
Yes. Yeah.
in login steps, we have created one non-static variable,
That you can
driver.
that you can remove. You see, I
Okay.
removed that line.
Okay.
Okay. Can see here. I have setting up the driver. Now initially WebDriver.driver, if you see, it will be null. WebDriver.driver, initially it will be actually null. The WebDriver.driver, initially it will be null. Now what we are trying to do, see here, this WebDriver.wrapper.driver, initially it will be null. Okay, let me try to run this script. Okay, initially it will be null. Let me click on resume. Now a browser will be launched. That browser is pointed by the static variable. Now you can see this browser is basically launched by the static variable. You can see driver will be having WebDriver wrapper.driver. WebDriver wrapper driver is having some browser details, static variable, or which will be loaded in memory. Initially, it will be null only once. At that time, we are updating it with new Chrome driver. So new Chrome driver we are updating. So when you are updating, you can see ID equal to 114. This is the browser detail. Now, wherever I want to do operation, I am using this driver, WebDriver wrapper.driver. And navigating to the URL, and you can see after that, it will go to the when part. Given is done. During the when, I am sending the username John. WebDriver wrapper. In this browser, we are trying to do the operation. It's a static variable. In the using the static variable, we are launching the browser. Then we are trying to do the activity. Then you can see I'm clicking on login. Then validating it basically. Going to the assertion part, validating. Then after this, we need to close the browser. Browser is not getting closed. We'll do that. So done with this, first of all, WebDriver wrapper, the execution will be same. Instead of declaring a driver to that particular class, we are taking it from this static variable. Done with this. How to close the browser?
Driver.quit.
Yeah, so I'm going to create a method here in scenario. For this method, I'm going to provide after. Basically comes from Cucumber, io.java, cucumber.java, after. And here I can do driver.quit. Okay, if you wanted to give the class name, the same class, so you can directly do. Otherwise, class name dot variable name dot quit, static variable. So you can use WebDriver wrapper dot driver dot quit, or you can just give driver dot quit. Now you see here, this code should run always. When I try to trigger this code should run, but we have to configure one thing. We have to add that in runner file. I'll tell you the reason. You can see here, it will try to launch the browser. Then it will go to the when part. Let me click on resume. Invalid credential I'm running. So it will go to the when I enter the username. You can see here. Let me click on resume. And it will run with username, password, language. Now I'm doing it assertion here. After clicking on login, I'm trying to find the element and trying to get the error message and comparing the error message with the expected value, which I'm sending it from the feature file. Assertion is done. After assertion, you should go to the after this annotation. This annotation runs after all scenario. Runs after each after each scenario. Okay. Is it running right now? You can see browser is not getting closed. Is it running right now? Now, if you see it's not running, if I run this program, it should close the browser actually, but you can see it's not closing the browser. So which means I already added a debug point, but it's not coming to this breakpoint. It's not coming to this breakpoint actually. You can see the browser is still alive. Okay, the problem here is if I add this method, if I have copy this method and keep it inside this class, it will work. If I keep it inside the class, you can see right now if I trigger, our code will work. It will go to the after. You see here, it will try to after is something which will run after each scenario. It should run. That's the logic here. You can see it closed the browser. Whether it is passed or failed, that's not a problem. It will close the browser after will run. But after annotation, hooks basically comes under which class? We have kept under which class right now? This WebDriver wrapper, right? This comes under which package?
Base
Base
com.nsc.base.
package, right? So runner class, what it does is it will take this feature file and it will try to check all the annotations given, when, then, everything inside this package only. Whatever the package I've given. That's why it was using when I give inside this package. Okay. Now we are configuring few things in the base class. Cucumber related annotations we are configuring in base class also. So our duty is to include that also over here. com.nsc.base. That's the logic here. nsc.base. In that also I have few annotations. Given when then is also annotations only. If you see annotation given when then, after I'm configuring here. Okay. Now if I run, whatever happen, it will go for the after. In the after, I'm closing the browser. In a setup for the framework discussion. Okay, just add this under WebDriver wrapper. Any of you already configured this. If you create this method, it automatically closes the browser. Even though my test case is failure, it will close. If I give a wrong detail here, it will be failure right now. But you can see browser will be closed. You can see browser got closed. That will run always after. Okay, given when then and after is closing the browser. Okay. So just add this and run it. Runs after each scenario. This is for browser framework.
Balaji, which after we have to import JUnit or
No, it's coming from Cucumber, io.cucumber.
Okay.
JUnit is having an after, that is for other test after test method. This is Cucumber related. Done with this? It's for browser close. Updated the driver. That close browser logic. And great. Cool. Just understand the concept also, and then how are we adding in the framework? Both the things you noticed. Done with this?
Yes, it's working.
Okay, yeah. Now we'll try to work on few more things like page object model. We'll try to include a page object model instance. We'll create one more package right now. Already we discussed it. Let me create a new package here. Okay. Let it be static methods only. So all the packages I'll create. For each page, we'll create a class. All right. So first, let me create the package com.nsc.pages. The package name, and inside that package, I'm going to create lots of class. Already we discussed this in the previous concept. While discussing the hybrid framework, concept will be same. We can reuse the same package if it is the same application. Since it is a different application, I'm trying to create a new page object model. A page object model is clear for you, right? Each page you will create a class. The operation will be done through method object repository. We need to connect. So that's the thing. Login page I'm going to create, and then in that page com.nsc.page, I'm going to create one more class. After login, I'll keep it as main page. Two classes I'm creating. Under login page, I'll create a static method. Let it be static method public static void enter username. Enter username. Public static void enter username. Now to enter the username, public static void enter username. Inside this, we will be adding the script. For entering the username, this is the script. Just copy the script and you can add it for the time. Login page. WebDriver wrapper.driver.find element static method, so we can access it directly. Just import will happen. Send keys. How to fix this argument? Whoever call the method, they have to send the argument, right? String username. And what are the other things we have to maintain? Is there anything hard coded here in this method? we can see this is a method which we created in the previous scenarios. Okay, so what we need to do, like what are the things we need to remove from this argument? We have passed. Whoever called the method, they will send data, what data we want to say. And what are the other things hard coded here inside this method?
Locator.
Yeah, so locator, right? So our duty is to make sure locator is declared in the top. Private, let it be static. Everything you mention it as static. We will try to change it to non-static. Private static locator it's by username locator. Locator equal to by dot id by dot name that you can give it over here, and copy that locator and give it in the section find element. Okay. And to call this method, how will you call this method? Static method. How do we call the static method?
Yes, Balaji.
Yeah, how to call the static method?
Using class name.
Yeah, so using the class name. So I'll go over here and wherever I'm trying to log in, like this will be the only code to enter the username. So we'll try to call the static method. Okay, let me create the methods quickly. We'll try to create few more static method. Log in and try to do public static void enter password string password. And over here I'll try to give the same script, this the script, and I'll copy and keep it. The concept of page object model, either it is static or non-static. For each page, there will be a class. Inside the class only details will be there. Object repositories, you need to keep it in separate class, or you should be keeping it in the class log. So here also there will be a locator that I'll create it. It's going to be a password locator, and that will be this password locator you need to change, which will be clear password. Let's create the method, then we will call it. Then to select the language, one static method, static void, select language, select language by text I'm going to give. Using text, we are selecting the language. So already we have done the language. I can copy the script and keep it inside this method. Few things I need to fix. One is language. We need to string language text. Okay. And locator, I have to take it from here and keep it here. Private static by locator language locator. This is clear for you, right? This language locator, you can keep it here.
Yes.
Like last time we created a non-static and then like static, then we converted to non-static. We'll go in the same way. First, concentrate on the concept. Concept is for each class there will be a method, and then do the operation. For each class there will be a like for each page there will be a class. Inside the class, methods will be there respective to that particular class. Whatever the operation inside this login page, all the methods I will be creating. Not only enter username, password, click on login, select language, getting this description, and getting this clicking on acknowledgement licensing. All these things we will be doing. We'll do that. So after that, I need to click on login. Public static void login. Now to click on login, I have to create the step. Let me try to do that. This is the step. And login, I'll keep it here. Locator. Let me take locator and keep it in the class log. By locator, it's going to be a login locator. You can take the detail from this detail. When you get time, you can convert. Or if possible, you try to take it from the chat menu. This login locator. Login you do, that's enough. The remaining will do it later. These you try to complete right now. Or you can take it from the GitHub. Just listen here. How to call the method. So hereafter we don't write the statement in each and every step definition. In the step definition, what I'll do is I'll just call this method. So this method I need to call. To call this method, it's a static method. I have to use the class name. Class name is login page. Login page dot enter username. That will take care of entering the username. And login page dot enter password. That will take care of password. Selecting the language, login page dot select the language. And for clicking on login page dot click on login. I'll push it to GitHub till this. Commit. Add a page object. Page object or login page. Remaining will do it later. Till this you try to add it. Okay. Understand what is page object? That's enough right now. Okay, let me this assertion is there. Assertion is kept as it. Let me complete that. Okay. You can try completing till this. I'll complete the remaining thing. We're able to create this and call it.
Yes.
Okay. Fine. For example, we have this feature file. In this feature file, for all these things we created the page objects. It's there. I should get the error message. Error message is inside the login page. So we have the assertion here. This is the code for getting the error message. WebDriver find element dot get text. We are using this XPath and trying to get the text. It's an invalid credential. This is coming in the login page. Error message comes in the login page. So this script I have to create a method. So over here, I'll be creating one more method in the login page class. So method will be public. Let it be static everywhere, so you don't have any confusion on it. Return type will be string. We are going to return the error message. Get. We already created this in the previous scenario. Get invalid error message. Invalid error message. And this method will try to return the text, the inner text, what I'm trying to get. Return text. Okay. And whoever wants to get the error message, they can call this method. Nothing should be hard coded inside this. So I'll take this y.xpath and put it over here. All the locators, wherever you have given y.init, those locators should be kept in the error locator. Let me copy it and keep it over here. Error locator. Now get invalid locator. I have to go over here and then call this method WebDriver wrapper. Instead of doing this, I can just call the method. So login page dot get invalid error message. So this method, what it does is it will return some output. The output we are trying to compare with the value which we are sending it from feature file. I'll repeat it and show you. I'll debug this code and show you. No, we are getting the title, right? Title is coming from the dashboard page after login. So that you need to keep it properly. After clicking on login, we are getting the title and validating. We are trying to get the title from the login page. That's not related to login page. So that code should come under login or main page. Get title static string get dashboard title dashboard page title, and then inside this you can add that particular code. WebDriver app driver.title I can copy and keep it inside this dashboard. No argument, just it will try to return the title. Return driver.getTitle. Now how to call this method? Static method. Class name dot main page dot get dashboard. Whatever the Selenium code I have created in this step definition, I created an equivalent page objects for it. Okay, whatever the code we created in this Selenium step definition, sorry, Cucumber step definition. For that, I tried to create the page objects. Page objects is concept. For each web page, we have to create a class. That's done. Methods will be there for doing the operation. Locators we have to collect in the top. Understood? Just copy the page objects, and when you get time, try to work on the page objects. Page objects.
Yes.
For login page and as of now, the Cucumber concept, when you run, the code should work. The login page and main page created. Now under main page, whether we work or not, we'll try to sit and create all the other methods. For example, not only these methods will be available, we'll in main page menu and all, we'll try to automate. For example, after login, you can see messages there. I want to create a method to click on messages. Or there is a method patient. I want to create a method to click on patient. Patient new search. For this, what you need to do is you have to actually create the method. I have to create the method similar to this in the main page. For example, these methods will be there. Click on patient and methods for click on new search, methods for click on patient, click on new search. All these things we'll try to create. Now, locators, I have to keep it in the class node for this. This will be patient locator, then this will be login locator. So patient locator and sorry, it should be new search locator. Patient locator, new search locator, which is done. Now here it should be patient, and here it should be something like new slash. Some part of a text if I give, that will work. Okay. So is it clear for you till this? And these methods we'll be trying to create it and keep it. And when we come across with those step definition, we'll call this page objects.
Yes.
Okay, now commit and push I'll do. So right now, let me save first of all. Save, commit and push. Okay, fine. So right now I'll debug the code and show you. I'll debug the entire code. Okay, all the details I'll try to debug. Let me close all other file. Keep it this and tag name I'll include it. So I will try to run all the files. Let me debug as JUnit. First, you can see given based on this feature file only it will run. First, it will run the invalid. Right now, launching the browser. You can see after launching the browser, entering into the user. I launch the browser. After launching the browser, you can see it comes over here. Enter username I'm giving. Okay. Login page dot enter username static method. Let me go inside the method. What username I want to enter, and WebDriver wrapper driver is actually a static variable which is actually holding the browser right now. WebDriver wrapper dot driver static variable. Find element doing the operations n keys. No hidden detail here. Everything will be straightforward. Then I'm entering the username, password. Click on login. Then what I'm trying to do over here is let me add a breakpoint in all these steps. I'll debug it from the beginning again. Debug as JUnit. Now click on resume. Enter username. So go inside the method and entering the username. You can see enter username. Next, it will go for enter password. Password we are sending it from the step feature file. From feature, I enter username as John123 connects with this step definition, and this step definition is connecting with enter password. Okay, for that can see here password. Now language. For that we are connecting with this method language text, and that's actually going to do the select by language based on the visible text. And click on login. We are calling the method which will find the login locator and click on login. And then finally, I'm doing the assertion. Okay, after doing the assertion, it should go to the after thing. So let me try to complete it. Whether the assertion failed or not, it will go for end scenario. This method after where we are closing the browser. Next, valid credential is the name. It will when I enter username like given is going to run after given. When I enter username as first row, this row will be used. Username, password, that particular record will be used. Okay, it will enter username, password, select the language. Now it will try to click on login. After clicking on login, we are trying to we have to put a wait condition. That's fine. We'll do it later. I'm trying to get into the assertion driver.title, comparing the title and doing the operation. And then it's closing the browser. Now again, there is one more row. One more row, it's going to do this operation. Okay, completed the operation, right? Browser, you can see it got closed. Understood the flow? from feature, it will connect to step definition. From step definition, you can hard code the detail, or if you want to work on page objects, you can add the page objects also. Understood?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So going further, I'll create one scenario. Okay, this is a very important topic. Page object model we have done for few things. We'll just go for the next one. It's very important topic right now, whatever I'm discussing. It's called data table, where you want to send a tabular data. Let me create a method here. Data table. Understand what is data table. Scenario is clear for you, right? Don't get confused with data table and scenario. A scenario is going to be, just keep this in mind. One scenario you want to run with multiple data. Then we go for scenario outline. Okay, don't get confused with scenario outline. I have one scenario. That scenario I want to run with 3-4 records. Then what I can do is I can create a scenario outline followed with examples. Whatever the data I want to, like whatever the test case I have for that particular scenario, I can give an username password. Okay. So one scenario, multiple data. In that case, you can go for scenario outline. Data table is totally different. Don't get confused. We will discuss about data table right now. Let me create one new feature file. Listen, then you can do it. I'm going to create a new feature file. Already I gave you that assignment. Based on that assignment only, I'm going to create the feature file. This is the assignment which I gave you. This assignment, where we are planning to add a patient. We are trying to add a patient. After adding the patient, okay, whatever the test scenario comes with patient, I'm going to do that. So I'll be creating a feature file here. Let me create a feature file here. Right click on the folder, feature, new file, patient.feature. That's the feature file name, patient.feature. More file, let me delete all these things. If you want to add any comment here in this feature file, if you want to add any comment, you can use hash. Okay. That's the command, feature. And then I'm going to give feature header. Let me try to push remaining. Feature. Then feature header. Feature header is patient. Feature header. Okay. Now description. In order as a, I would like to. So some description for logging purpose. It's better to add something like this. In order to add a, delete, modify patient records as a admin, I would like to access the portal. After adding it, pretty format you do, it will align it. This is just for, I would like to access the portal and add records. Okay. Modify record. Okay. Now scenario. Scenario will be scenario. I'm going to give the scenario. Then scenario name, let me keep it as add patient. Okay, scenario name, add patient. Then given. So what will be the given? Try to write the given. Already we need a browser with OpenEMR. Try to use the same given. It will automatically use the existing code. Given. Okay. Given. Bin. Okay. For login, already we have a script. Right? This will be the logic for login. You can just use the same log script. Don't create a new one. Just use the same. If you create even a colon, if you add it, it will try to ask you to create a new one. Okay, try don't add any colon. Right now, if I run this feature file, this is the step. When I enter username, password, click on login, then I have to click on patient, like new search. Then we have to add first name, last name. We are planning to add a patient. It will have more records into it. Let me try to complete it. First, I'll write the scenario. You also try to complete the scenario. Done till this. After that, I need to click on patient. And instead of writing multiple times when, you can use and I click on patient. And I click on new search. New search. Clicking on patient, new search. Here we need to fill the record, like first name, not all the record, only mandatory fields I'll try to fill. First name, last name, gender, and date of birth. These are all mandatory record. Okay. Now listen here. And I enter username as first name as. We can do this, correct? We can do this first name as John. And I enter last name as Peter. The problem here is, when you do this, the problem here is you can see the form here. How many records we have? See, lots of record is there, correct? Who is there? Contact section is there. Your choices will be there. In different scenario, you will be depending on lots of form. Okay, right now if you see some 10, 20, 30 forms are there, like for top fields are there. For each and every one, if you start creating and, you can see number of steps, the scenario steps. It will become too long, right?
Yes.
So to avoid that, what we do is we'll try to go for data table to send tabular data. Let me try to show you. So instead of giving this one by one, what you can do is you can tell I fill the form. I fill the form. Okay. Here itself, in the next line itself, you can create a pipeline and you can mention the form detail. What are the things you want to write? First name, last name, and then pipeline. I wanted to give first name, last name, the gender, and DOB. These are all mandatory fields. Only those fields I wanted to fill. First name, last name, DOB, gender. Now, First name I want to keep it as John. Next I wanted to keep it as last name as and then gender, let me keep it as male. Gender is basically a drop down thing over here. So I have to inspect the drop down and you see select this text is what I'm giving. Date of birth. When you see date of birth, as I told you in the beginning, try to go with the existing data. Copy the data after choosing the date, copy the date and give the same format here. After doing this, I'll do pretty format. It will align the code. I just align. There's a major difference between scenario outline and data table. So don't compare or don't get confused. One scenario I want to run with multiple record. In that case, I will go for scenario outline. Right now, in one step definition, I will need lots of data. Just one method, I will be filling all the details. That's data table. Tabular data, if you want to send, you can go for tabular. After filling this form, I'll click on create new patient. Then I can continue and I click on create new patient. Understood? We'll understand
Yes.
how to read this data table. I click on create new patient. See, once I fill first name, last name, then gender, then date, and then click on create new patient, it will give you this pop-up. I have to click on and I click on confirm, create new patient. Okay. And after I click on confirm, create new patient, you can see there will be an alert box. This alert box, I want to click on OK. And I click on. You have to do validation here. Alert box text also you need to validate and all you need to keep it on the last then part only, not in the when part. So first we will try to click on alert. I handle the alert box. Let me keep it. Handle the alert box. Alert box. Then after handling the alert box, which means you click on OK, then you see happy birthday. If you fill today's date, you will get happy birthday. And I click on happy birthday and I close happy birthday. Happy birthday. If available. If it's shown. Okay. This is your bank. Once you do all these things, you will be able to see the added record. Understood? The added person detail will be available over here. Now here you have to do, I want to do two validation and I should get the text as I can give that alert text. Okay. For example, if you see here after going to new patient, first name, last name, gender, and date you are filling, and click on create new patient. After that, we are clicking on confirm create new patient. We are getting an alert box here, right? Alert box should show assessment : causing that alert should contain the alert text as I should see alert text. I should see the alert text contains assessment, some part of a text I wanted to validate. Assessment : to be something like this. And one more validation is right after clicking on OK, after clicking on close, you can see the added patient detail here. Added patient detail here. Okay. So for the successfully added, then I should see the added patient detail. as something like this. It will show you medical record dashboard. This text it will show you medical record dashboard, and I'm adding John, so it should be John. Adding Vic, it should be Vic. This is your complete scenario. Validation we are doing. Understood? To validation, I'm trying to do over here. Whatever I've listed here as a point, I've just converted this to stories, user stories. The stories will be written by the manual testing team or the business team. Okay, sometimes the entire team will be involved in preparing the stories. Now you have to prepare the automation script for the stories. Okay, this user story is clear for you?
Yes.
Okay, now let me go to the login. Basically, I'll go to the runner class and I'll provide few tags here just for my understanding. I'll provide the tag as a great patient, and for this I'll provide a feature level. I'll give a great patient. Here I'll try to give add patient. Now you see here I'll go to the runner class and I'll include other rate patient here. The rate patient. Now if I try to trigger it here, you can see I'm just running at the rate patient, but feature is not included properly. It will check for the tag and you can see nothing is happening. Okay, the reason is I've included only login.feature here. Got it? Under which feature comes this tag?
Yeah. Sorry?
Yeah, so here if I run it, you can see it's not triggering the tag at the rate patient.
Yes, because
Yeah.
patient.feature is not added.
Yes, not added. So you can add the folder itself. Need to add feature like each and every feature one by one, comma separated. Just give the folder detail. That will do. Okay, and I'm just going to run this patient. Folder is enough. You can see add patient got triggered. Given is there, correct? Given is there. I'm using a same step. Given is there. Data I need to give it properly, and then it got failed, and remaining steps is not there. Username is admin. Valid login. Password is pass123. Try to do dry run. Then you will come to know what are the step definition not there. It will tell you. Just do dry run. Dry run equal to. Let me do dry run. You can see it's failure right now. After failure, I'll click on this show stack trace. It will tell you what are the step definition not available. Okay, when you can see here. Even if I add some colon or some changes in this, do dry run, it will ask you to create that method. Since already we have a method, no point in creating a new sentence. Okay, no point in creating a new sentence, which is not at all required. Okay, don't do that. Is it clear for you? Even if I try to give open EMR without space, if I try to give open EMR together, it will ask you to create a new definition for it. The concept will be same, launching the browser only. But you can see here it's asking to create a new given, which is not required. So whatever the code you have, it's always recommended to go to the previous section. Whatever the code you feel same, copy it and keep it in this section. Remaining script you try to write. You can see when I do dry run, it will tell you what are the method step definition is missing. So now I need to create the step definition, right? I need to prepare the step definition. Okay, now we have few step definition already. It is taking from which class? It's already taking from login step class. Is that clear for you?
Yes.
Now remaining step definition, it's related to patient. Whatever is there, you can leave it. Remaining thing you should create it. Under the new COM NSC step definition, I'll create it as patient steps. Okay, I'll create it as patient steps. Now over here,
Balaji, is it possible to add given? Uh, Hello.
yeah, tell me.
It is possible to add that given methods into WebDriver wrapper.
Like given, you can add it, not a problem. It can be in any class. It can be in any class. You can see right now I removed given and I'll put it into the base. Okay, you can keep it in any class, not an issue. Okay, the thing is you should be able to include that package name. If you don't include the package name, it will throw it. See, in this package, the definition should be there. It can be in any class. Got it? But ultimate aim is we don't include the given. If it is before, at the rate before you are launching the browser, then it's point in adding it in the wrapper class. Otherwise, don't need to add it in wrapper class. Just keep it in login page, login step. Okay. We will try to move this code into the WebDriver wrapper. That I'll tell you. We will try to create one method and we'll move it. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay.
So as of now, you just keep this one. Concentrate on data table. So if I do a dry run, it will tell you what are the step definition not there. Let me do dry run equal to true. Here under stack trace, I'll click, I'll be getting few methods. These methods I need to create a definition. Let me copy the method first of all. I'll go to patient steps. And patient steps class, I'll keep those methods. Okay, so given when using username, entering password, entering selecting the language, click on login, it's already there. So it will pick from the login page, login step definition. Remaining, I'll be taking it from this class. Understood?
Yes.
Let me remove this. See, you can see by default, we started reusing the script. Using step definition, by default, we started reusing it. That's the concept of Cucumber. By default, you'll be able to see all the data-driven activity becomes simple. And it connects entire team together by just using this as a triggerable file. Everyone can understand this. And data what we are testing also is going to be kept over here. That's the advantage of this particular concept. Got it?
Yeah.
Now, so you can see under patient steps, I have to call the method here. Already I have a method for logging in, like click on patient. That is in main page dot click on patient, and main page dot click on new search. Main page dot click on new search. Remaining page object you first complete without page object, then you can try continuing this one. You can see the argument here, it comes as data table. This is a package name. I'll hover on it and import it. Cucumber.data table. So let's understand this package name. Okay. I'll help you in understanding it. So listen carefully. Okay. Let me put a breakpoint here in this thing, and I'll try to run it in a debug mode. I'll command the dry run, and let me remove all other breakpoint. Remove all breakpoints, and then I'll go to the patient step and add a breakpoint here. And here I'll try to trigger debug as change unit. Now it will include the patient step. It will launch the browser, enter username, password, select language, click on login, and then click on patient, and then it will click on new search. Username, password, I guess it's wrong. Let me check that. Admin password. Entering the username, entering the password, and clicks on login. Now I'm clicking on patient here. I think XPath is wrong. Let me fix it. Right now, let me open the report and check it. You can see index.html report. It will tell you what detail is wrong. You can see it says no element not interactable, element not interactable. So let me check the XPath. So if there is a wrong, something that's wrong with the XPath, I have to go to main page and I have to check it here. Let me copy it and go over here and validate it first of all. There are 36 elements with this text I guess. So it should be admin. Let me remove contains at the text equal to patient equals to one element. Let me click the text part and for new search, I copy it and put the expert properly here. And I'll try to run it in a debug mode. Just we'll understand how to read the data table and print it. Automation, you can do it later. Okay. You can see I'm getting a data table here. Okay, this is the value we are getting. Now we should be able to read this record. To enter the first name John, I should be able to read the record. To enter the password, I should be last name, I should be able to read the record, right? So how to read the data table is what we are planning to do right now. Okay, so let me show you. Let it run, complete it. I'll go to the Java concept and I'll go for the package called collection. You remember the array list which we discussed, right?
Yes.
Okay. There is one more collection called map. I mentioned that over here. Map. You see map where we will be maintaining a key value. Let me try to create it. Map demo. Map demo. A class with main method I'll create. I will try to maintain the key value path. So map is the class map. Map. Generic will be there where we will try to maintain key value string, comma string I'll give, and then I'll just give it as ID, comma string, some emp1 I'll give, new emp map1 I'll give equal to new. Okay. Or I'll try to do the same thing like it should be an integer actually. Yes. In Java we integer comma string, or I can give string comma string, it will be string comma string, row map1 I'll give row map1 equal to new map. Okay. Creating the object string comma string. In the previous section we have created an array list. Array list is an extension of a concept. List of string, list of integer you can create, whereas here it's going to contain key value pair. It will contain the key value pair. Let me try to load it one by one. So the variable name I'm giving it as a row map dot. There will be a method called put. I can add key value pair. Here I'll give it as a first name, and value I'll keep it as John. One record. Row map1. One more record I'll add it. Age. I'll keep the age as 78. Okay. And then I'll give row map dot key. I'll put the key as salary. Everything I'm keeping it as string here. Some detail. Okay. Salary something like 9,000. Okay. So to access the value, you can see here, to access the value in this, you see here, to access the value, you have to use row map, the variable name dot, there will be a method called get. Okay, in get method, you have to give the key. Return type will be string because key and value is a string. So to access it, you need to do this. You have to give the key. Let me put a breakpoint here and run it and show you. If you want to keep a key value pair in memory, you can go for hash map. You can see here. Right now the hash map is empty. I'm adding a key value pair. So instead of adding it as adding the record in index point, we will be adding it as key value pair. First name equal to John, and one more record which is age equal to 78, and one more record. You can see here age, salary, first name, all the record got added. To access the value, you will be using a key value pair. To access the value, we'll be using key and value. For example, right now I want the first name, then I have to give the hash map detail dot get of key. If the key is there, it will give you the value. You can see the value is given over here. Okay, so using the key only, you will be able to access the value. Understood?
Yes.
Let me run the script. If the key is not there, you can see, let me give a wrong key here. Let me keep it as a capital
And
S.
in line number 9, we have to mention data type of key and value both, right?
Yes, which what data type you want to use. Let me tell you that. You can see here I created I gave the key as salary, S as uppercase, case sensitive. Understood?
Yes.
It's case sensitive, key is case sensitive, and also it should be unique. It should be unique. For example, if I try to add one more with first name, see here, first name, last name, age. I updated, you can see first name got updated to already it's John. Now let me try to read it. John, let me keep it as Peter. With the same key, I'm trying to keep the record. So initially, first name equal to John will be there. Later, when I update with the same key, you can see already there is a key called first name which got updated to Peter. Understood? Key value. If you want to create a hash map with something like this, employee ID and then employee name. Assume that you want to create a key map. Employee ID name you want to maintain. Employee ID mostly it will be of integer. So for that you have to give integer here. A class name integer. If it is double, then you have to give double. Okay, let me keep the integer here. I'll create one more demo here. In that I will keep it. Okay. Then key value per integer comma string. Now each and every index point you can see here, each and every record. Let me keep it as map dot put. Okay, key value per integer. I'll give 101 John. Map dot put. You can give only an integer. If you give string, it will throw it up. And the integer 102 Peter. As a key value per, you can maintain the record. To access it, same. So map dot get is a method. You have to give the key. You have to give the key as 102 or whatever it is. You can give. It will give you the respective value. Understood?
Can we access whole pair
Yeah. You will be able to write for
using
loop and
indexing?
access it. Yeah. Let me show you that. That's what we will be doing it. In this one, you see we are getting a collection, right? We have to write a for loop and access one by one. Those details is what we are planning to do, right? Let me show you over here to access all the record. Let me do one thing. Okay. You can write for loop. For you see there will be a method here, row map detail dot. You can see lots of methods here. Okay. Methods like get keys will be there. Key set will be there. Methods like key set, put remove key. If you want to remove a key, you can give remove. That key you can give to remove that particular key from the hash map. Got it? Replace key which will update it.
Yes.
And these methods are all available. Along with that, there will be a method like key set. You can see key set, which will return a set of string. Okay. For example, let me print all the keys. I use for each to print all the keys. Each key in this case is 20-bit string. Then row map dot, you can see key set. This will try to send the key one by one. I'm trying to print the key. Let me try to do this. What I'll do is I'll try to do row map dot clear remove. I'll give one key remove. Age I'll try to remove. Let me debug it from the beginning. You can see here adding 4 record. Right now you can see first name, last salary, age is there, and then getting the value one by one. Now in that map, I'm trying to remove the key age. You can see the map is not having key, right? Age. Got it? I removed it. Then I'm using key set, which will return the key one by one. First key is first name, then salary. Understood? All the keys. Now what I can do is to print all the key value. I know the key. To get the value, I just want to pass the key. Row of dot get of key. Right now, if I run it, this for loop will be able to extract the detail one by one. It will extract the key from this hash map. First key will be coming. First key is first name, key value, key value, key value. Understood? Like this, you will be able to write the logic. It's clear for you?
Okay. But
Now, I'll go for this hash map. Okay, this one you can keep it as hash map company one. Hash map company one. Okay, and this let it be one company. And then I'll create one more hash map. I'll create one more hash map, company 2. For company 2, I'm just keeping 2 more record. Okay. Now you see 2 hash map. Okay, both are independent hash map. For PF account and all, you see they will be maintaining different company records also. Not employee ID, but employee name, at least something with unique record. They have to maintain. You can see this is one hash map. Okay, where it has a key value pair. One more hash map where it has key value pair. Understood? Now, first, is it clear for you? 2 hash map I created. Just created 2 hash map. Is it clear for you?
yes, understood.
Now, if you want to share both the hash map, then instead of sharing it one by one, I'm going to give list of string we have seen. Now I'm going to create list of hash map. Just concentrate here. I'm going to create list of hash map. Okay. List basically comes from java.util. Let me import the list first of all. List java.util. Let me import it. And a list of hash map, which means each index point contains hash map. A list of string, what I'm trying to do. Let me give a list here. List equal to new. I'm creating an object. What I'm creating here is I'm creating a object list of hash map. Array list is what we are creating. It's not list actually, array list. List is a interface, so array list is what we will be creating. Java.util. You can see here. I created a list. I'll be adding this value inside the list. List dot add. Each index point contains what data type here. Array list of string. Each index point contains string. Array list of integer. Each index point contains integer. What is the type we have given? Hash map, right?
Map.
Now each index point contains hash map. Already I have two map at company one. And then list dot add at company two. Right now, if you see here, let me put a breakpoint here on from the beginning. I'll debug it and show you. Just listen. I'm creating a map one. In that map one, I'm keeping two key value by 101, 102. And in map two, I'm creating 101, 1001, 102. Independent hash map. Two map I have. Now to share, I have some 100 hash map I want to share to someone. Then what I'll do is I'll create a list of hash map, array list of hash map. Now you see array list is empty. It will be based on 0, 1, 2, 3, that concept only. Array list of string, like array only it will have. In 0th index, I'm adding one hash map. You can see list of 0 will contain one hash map. 0th index is having one hash map. And you can see first index is having one hash map. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. Now to access the value, what you need to do first, I want to access 102. And what I need to do is I have to give the array list detail dot get off. I have to do dot get off index point I need to give. The first map is 0th index. 0th index dot get off key. The key is 102. That's how you have to access the value from this array list of hash map. Okay. There's a method. You can see it gives you Peter. And if I try to give 101, it will give you. So if I want the value of 1001, then I'll be using list of 0, get of 1001. That is in hash map 1. So is it clear for you? Array list of hash map. What will be there in each index point is it clear for you? You have to, from
Yes.
the array list, if you want to go to the hash map, first what you need to know is you need to go to index point and then do the activity. Okay. Right now, I'll go to this data table. I'll tell you how to read it. Okay. We have a method here, data table. That's the variable name. Here we are getting it as table. Okay. Any variable name it will be there. Data table. You can see there will be a method called as maps. Okay. What this will try to do is this will try to return the output as list of maps. This will give you the output as list of maps. I'm going to get the list here. Automatically, it will convert into list of map. List come from java.util. Map is basically an interface. Here, while creating the here in the left hand side, you can keep map also. Just a interface. Okay, in the left hand side, I can keep map also, just an interface. But hash map is the concept. Like list we are doing, array list we are creating, we are storing it in the list, right? That's the concept here in the parent. Now, let me go over here. Just understand whatever the data table you get, you just convert into maps. As maps you do maps. Yes, it will give you a list of map. Okay, now how many row we have here? Only one row, right?
Yes.
So it's going to be very simple. It will convert. Let me put a breakpoint here and debug it and show you. System.out.println. I'll just print the list. Okay, I'll put a breakpoint here, and I'll debug the code right now and show you. Just you need to know how to read it. That's it. Okay, for reading only, I explained you the Java concept, hash map concept. If I explain the hash map concept, list of hash map, now it will be easy for you to read the record. Now you see data table is nothing but table view that we are converting into list of hash map. You see each index point contains the key value. Each index point contains a hash map. Okay, first row will be in 0th index. First name equal to John, column name value, column name value, column name value, column name value, key value pair. Okay, each index point contains the hash map. Suppose if I have two record, let me just for understanding, okay, don't get confused. I'll add one more record here. If I add one more record, let me keep it as one, pick one, male one, some name I'll give. Okay. Right, pretty format, align it. Pretty format, two row I have. Let me just run it in a debug mode. Now I'll have a list of hash maps. So 0th index will have first row key value pair. In first index, I'll have second row key value pair. Just listen here. Okay, now you can see list of hash maps. Two index. 0th index is having first row key value pair. First index is having second row key value pair. Okay, if I want John 1, then I have to go for index 1. In index 1, I need to give the key first name. Then I'll be getting John 1. Understood?
Yes.
Now, anyhow, the record will be only one record. You at a time you will be able to fill only one record. So you have always you will be keeping one record only. So we know exactly what record we are trying to read. So here to read the record, I can do system.out.println list dot get. First, I need to go to the index point. Always there will be one row. So 0th index. In 0th index, there is a key value pair. Dot get. Key I know. Key anyhow, the key is based on the header only. So give it properly, lowercase. You try to give header key. That's first name. If I want the last name, DOB, gender, that key I need to give last name, gender, one row. First row will be in 0th index. Okay, that's what I'm trying to read right now. You can see always we call this method as maps, and then we'll try to get the key value part as a list. You can see we got the list detail. Now the list in 0, I'm going to the, this is a list of hash map. Each index point contains hash map. First you need to go to hash map to access the key. That is present in 0th index dot get of 0. In 0th index, there is a hash map dot get of first name that will return the first name, last name, gender, DOB. Always it will be this record only. Always. It's clear for you how to read the record from the data table. Always
Yes.
we call this method. This method will convert list of hash map. 0th index will contain one hash map. First index contains second hash map. Third index contains like second index contain third hash map. Always we will have one row. So always it's going to be 0th index. Okay. Don't get confused in this case. Always this will be record. To enter the record, I will be using WebDriver wrapper dot driver dot find element. Let me use by dot id, by dot name, whatever it is. I'll give it dot send keys. Send keys I'll be giving this one. It will send the first name. And then for last name, I'll give this key. And see. First name, it's going to be ID is there, form underscore name. And last name I'll try to give. And this detail, it comes under a frame. If you're already done, you'll come to know it's inside the frame. This form is inside the frame. Let me go for selector hub and show you. There's a frame in this, if you notice it. It comes under the frame PAT. Let me copy the frame. Before doing the operation, I switch into the frame. Driver wrapper dot driver dot switch to dot frame. I'll just give web element driver dot find element. Always I have to use web driver wrapper dot driver dot find element by dot export that frame detail. Just getting into the frame actually. That comes inside frame, switching into the frame, doing the operation. Let me put a breakpoint here and run it. Remaining field, you try to fill it. Given when then for entering username, launch browser launch, entering username, password, select language, click on login is already there in login step definition, login step class. It will be doing that. And you can see I'm getting a list of hash map, going to the 0th index and accessing the hash map, printing the value. Print is not required, getting into the frame. And then you can see find the element list dot get of 0. It will go to the hash map in 0th index. In hash map is containing key value per key is what I've given dot get of first name. It will enter the first name and then it will enter the last name. Okay, and then it will complete the operation, right? It's clear for you till this?
Yes.
Okay, just understand how to read the hash map. Right now, just kept it one thing. Suppose anyhow, here I will be entering the username, password, click come out of the frame, and remaining portion you can try to complete. Okay, then part I'll tell you in the next class how to do the session. What you can do is fill the form here. I've done till this. You have to fill the form. Remaining steps you need to fill, like enter first name, last name, and then a date of birth. Which date of birth also I can quickly do it. Not an issue. You can see a date of birth. This will be DOB, and the ID of date of birth I can do. So, drop down will be there. Create an object for select class and do the automation on the drop down. Then you try to get in out of the frame, and to click on patient, you have to get into the frame, do the operation like here. Okay. That you try to complete. Wherever you want to get into the frame, do the operation, and handle alert driver dot switch to dot alert dot handle it. Okay, click on OK, accept. Then pop-up you can do it. Present you can try to click on it using find elements. We will try to do that later, or we'll do the remaining portion tomorrow. This you try to complete. Click on create a patient. You click on create a patient and confirm create new patient. Alert handling. Till alert handling, close on pop-up. Till this you try to complete.
Okay.
Till this. Okay. So rest we will discuss in the next class. Right now we have created one simple scenario. In this scenario we are filling the form. For example, in this case we are trying to run with John 123, like John Wick, male, date of birth, and doing it, right? Suppose this scenario, I want to run with multiple record. Right now we are adding the patient John Wick, right? John, and then last name is Wick. We are adding this patient. Assume that you want to add one more patient, okay? Like Peter, Paul, one more patient I wanted to add. John Wick, you are giving the detail date of birth just for one set of record, and we are validating this record for this person, and for one more person I wanted to add the record. What we should do in that case?
Sorry, I didn't get it.
We are running this scenario for one record, right? On
Yes.
and if I want to run the same scenario for one more record, what I can do? I can do this, correct? I can create one more copy here. Scenario outline, add patient 2 I'll give, add patient 1 I'll give. And here I can give a new record like Peter, Paul, date of birth, and here it should be Peter Paul. It's a duplicate scenario, right? How can we overcome this issue? I've created an exact copy of scenario just by changing the record. What concept we use? One scenario, if you want to run with multiple records.
Inheritance.
No, it's feature file, what I discussed. No? So one scenario, you want to run with multiple records. Which concept we use? One scenario, multiple data.
Okay. Outline.
Yeah, so we can convert this. Okay, we can easily convert this. Just do it for one record. We can easily convert to scenario outline. This you can easily do it. One scenario we created for valid credential, right? Then we converted scenario outline, right? That we can do it for this also. After finishing for one person, we can create it as scenario outline so that multiple records I can add it. Okay, right now you can concentrate on one patient and add record. We'll complete the validation. Then we'll convert that into scenario outline. Okay, don't get confused between scenario outline and data table. Okay,
no, understood it.
That
understood.
Is right. One scenario, multiple data. And one step, if you want to send a bulk record, then we go for data table. That's the concept. In the beginning, if it is clear, then it will be clear for sure. People will get confused with this. We will try to convert, we will try to run the same scenario with two different set of records like this, which we will do it in the next class. Okay, to just complete this and keep it. Remaining we'll discuss in the next class. Got it?
Okay.
Okay, that's this all these you try to complete it and keep it. Possible, try to do assertion also, but till when you should be able to complete. Okay, fine. Here itself you can complete. No need to go for page object model. Just here itself you try to complete and keep it like this.
Yes.
Fine. I'll push this record.
Balaji.
Yeah.
Saturday's recording is not shared on YouTube.
Oh, I'll
Not upload.
okay, I'll inform the team.
For both the Saturdays.
Close it. Okay, I'll inform them. Yeah. I just messaged the team. They will be uploading. That's all for today's session. Got an idea, right? Data table and page object, what we discussed today.
Yes.
Okay. We'll discuss the rest of the thing in the next class. Try to work on this and ping me in case of any doubts.
Okay.
Yeah. See you then. Okay, I'll end the meeting. See you tomorrow. See you in the next class. Bye. Good night. Yeah.